Margaret Mead, Redefining Culture, Gender, and Humanity. UGC-Net Anthropology. Part 8. Welcome to AnthroNet Academy, a study aligned with the UGC-Net Anthropology syllabus. Description box. Please visit the description box for books references. Dear learners, if you find this content helpful, please consider subscribing to AnthroNet Academy. Your support really means a lot and keeps me motivated to create more valuable content for you. About the series. The series will be divided into 10 parts. Each video will focus on one prominent anthropologist with a detailed list of 10 major books they have written, explained with brief descriptions. This series aims to help students, UGC-Net aspirants, and anthropology enthusiasts get familiar with the foundational thinkers and texts of our discipline. This is part 8 of the series, and we are beginning with a legendary figure whose work has shaped the field in a profound way. Stay tuned for all 10 parts by the end of the series. You'll have a comprehensive list of 100 authors and their books at your fingertips. Margaret Mead, 1901 to 1978, was a pioneering American cultural anthropologist whose work transformed the field by focusing on child rearing, gender roles, adolescence, and cultural relativism. Her accessible writing and innovative research methods brought anthropology to the public eye and sparked debates about nature versus nurture, especially around identity and behavior. 1. Coming of Age in Samoa, 1928. Anthropological Focus, Adolescence, Cultural Relativism, Nature versus Nurture. Description. This is Mead's most famous and controversial work, based on her fieldwork in the Samoan Islands. She studied how Samoan girls transitioned into adulthood and compared their relaxed attitudes towards sex and adolescence with the stressful, repressive experiences of American youth. Her conclusion, culture, not biology, shapes behavior. This challenged Western assumptions about universal adolescent turmoil. The book made Mead a public intellectual and brought cultural anthropology into mainstream conversations. 2. Growing Up in New Guinea, 1930. Anthropological Focus, Childhood Development, Education, Enculturation. Description. Mead explored how children in the Manus tribe of New Guinea learn language, social behavior, and cultural norms. She emphasized enculturation, how culture is transmitted from one generation to the next. Her comparative approach showed that Western child-rearing practices are not universal, advocating instead for cross-cultural understanding of parenting, learning, and emotion. This book further supported the idea that personality is shaped by cultural context. 3. Sex and Temperament in Three Primitive Societies, 1935. Anthropological Focus, Gender Roles, Cultural Construction of Personality. Description. In this influential book, Mead studied 3 New Guinea societies, the Arapesh, Mundagamur, and Chambili, to explore gender roles and temperament. She found Arapesh, both men and women were gentle and nurturing. Mundagamur, both were aggressive and competitive. Chambili, women were dominant and managerial, men were more passive. Her conclusion, gender traits are not biologically fixed, but are culturally constructed. This was revolutionary for feminist anthropology and gender studies. 4. Balinese Character, A Photographic Analysis, 1942, with Gregory Bateson. Anthropological Focus, Visual Anthropology, Behavior Analysis, Symbolism. Description. A pioneering work that combined photographs and ethnography, this book analyzed Balinese cultural patterns, especially in child behavior, ritual, and expression. Mead and Bateson used thousands of photographs and film to study nonverbal communication, posture, and emotion. This was one of the earliest examples of visual anthropology, and it emphasized the role of symbolism and performance in constructing social life. 5. Male and Female, A Study of the Sexes in a Changing World, 1949. Anthropological Focus, Gender, Sexuality, Biology versus Culture. Description. In this synthetic and semi-popular work, Mead explores gender roles across cultures and in industrial society. She critically examines how men and women are defined and constrained by social norms and institutions. The book blends field observations with reflections on modern American gender dynamics, making a case for cultural flexibility in sex roles. 6. People and Places, 1959. Anthropological Focus, Reflective Ethnography, Comparative Cultures. Description. This book is more autobiographical, blending personal experiences with anthropological insights from her fieldwork in places like Samoa, New Guinea, and Bali. It provides an overview of how culture affects daily life, identity, and social relations. It's especially valuable for understanding Mead's interpretive and empathetic approach to studying other societies. 7. Continuities in Cultural Evolution, 1964. Anthropological Focus, Cultural Change, Diffusion, Evolution. Description. In this more theoretical work, Mead argues that cultures evolve not through biological change, but through the transmission of learned behavior across generations. She examines how cultural continuity and innovation interact, especially in rapidly modernizing societies. The book is a contribution to cultural evolution theory with practical implications for education and development policy. 8. Anthropology, A Human Science, 1964. Anthropological Focus, Scope of Anthropology, Interdisciplinarity, Ethics. Description. This book serves as an introduction to the field from Mead's perspective, emphasizing anthropology's ability to bridge the gap between the sciences and humanities. She calls for anthropology to be applied to real-world problems, particularly in education, gender, and global understanding. It reflects her humanistic commitment to making anthropology relevant beyond academia. 9. A Rap on Race, 1971, with James Baldwin. Anthropological Focus, Race, Culture, Identity, Dialogue. Description. Though not a traditional ethnographic text, this book is a transcribed conversation between Mead and novelist James Baldwin on race, identity, history, and justice. Mead approaches race from an anthropological standpoint, seeing it as a social construct shaped by cultural forces. Their conversation blends anthropology, literature, and politics in a highly personal and intellectual exchange. 10. Blackberry Winter, My Earlier Years, 1972. Anthropological Focus, Autobiography, Intellectual Development. Description. This is Mead's autobiography, detailing her early life, academic formation, and experiences as a female anthropologist in a male-dominated field. While not a research study, it offers crucial insight into the evolution of her thought, the challenges of fieldwork, and her reflections on the relationship between observer and observed key concerns in modern ethnography. Major anthropological themes in Mead's work. Cultural relativism. No culture is inherently superior. Enculturation. Culture is learned, not inherited. Gender as a cultural construct. Biological sex is not equal to social gender. Nature versus nurture debate. Emphasis on nurture, cultural shaping of personality. Visual and Applied Anthropology, Use of Photography and Media in Analysis. Public Anthropology, Bridging Academic and Public Spheres. Thank you for watching.